Also, don't be afraid of hopping fast. I think actually sometimes the slower you take it, the more difficult it is, because I don't know why. I think it just is. It's Monday, it's like 8:38, and we're about to get in the car. We're in the car, going to my counselling appointment. It's Monday. Plot twist. We're actually at the cafe. My counsel was ill on Monday today, so basically just woke up really late. It's not even 8 o'clock, it's like 11 o'clock. Been finding it really hard to adjust my sleep pattern recently since I got back from the competition. Had a couple of personal things to deal with as well that made, I don't know, I'm just not sleeping at the moment, so I'm sleeping a bit longer to give myself a bit more rest. But anyway, about to get time breakfast, then training later, back to training. Do you know what, I'm actually so eager to get back in the chair. So I just got back from the coffee shop and I want to continue where I kind of left off yesterday. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, go check it out. It's about carrying things on your crutches, but from a very practical standpoint. And a laptop, a bottle of water, a guitar, or a massive lemon. Or what I want to talk a little bit more about today is the mentality of carrying things and your mindset. Because I remember when I was in this studio and I had this big model or like A1 portfolio and I physically couldn't carry it. And it was a good like 5 minute walk from there to my car. And there was no one around to help me. There was literally not a single person. I kind of felt really lost. I was like, there's nothing I can do. I tried, every time I'd drop in, I'd hurt myself or I'd damage the portfolio. And it was so frustrating each time I tried to carry this portfolio down. And the way I managed to do it wasn't by strapping something amazing onto it or adapting it or being super kind of creative and managing to do it, actually physically carry it in the end. The way I did it was just setting my mind to the correct state, which is, I can't do this. The only way that I could physically do it is by being the tortoise and literally moving it one step at a time. And when you kind of realize the situation you're in, like, this is going to take me a while. This is just my life. This is the situation that I'm in, and I need to accept it. Do you know, I can move it one step. And if I can move it one step, I can move it 2 steps. And eventually they turn into 100 steps. And then eventually you get to your car. Sometimes you need to realize in life that it's not going to be easy, and there's no easy way out adapting or doing this. It's just your predicament that you're in, and you just need to deal with it and take the steps, baby steps, in order to get out of it. So that's what I did. I literally just kind of moved it one step at a time. I just knew I was going to be there for a long time, and I just kind of sat with it. I wasn't trying to like rush it or find different ways out. I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to chip away at this. And eventually I got there, and it took me a while, but you know, at the end of the day, I wasn't frustrated by the time I got there. I was like, thank fuck for that. And it's about having that mindset of like, not trying to punish yourself. It's a difficult enough situation without you being hard on yourself, like, oh, this is so annoying, I can't carry it, I'm so upset, I wish I could carry it, it's so unfair. Yes, it is, but sometimes to get to your goal, you just need to put all that aside and then just think, do you know what, how am I going to do this practically? It's about accepting that and not letting that work against you, and not seeing it as like a negative, but just seeing it as your life and something that has to happen. And once you start seeing it as something that just needs to happen, I'm going to have to take 2 trips, it's going to take me a little bit longer because I'm on crutches and there's nothing I can do about that, you begin to accept it. And when you begin to accept it, you can start working with it and around it. So that's the first thing I would say, dude. Make sure that you kind of try and accept your predicament, and then it kind of clears your mind and lets you work with things from there. The second thing that I wanted to talk about was asking for help. I remember this time once when I was at university, and what I would do is, when I really wasn't ready to ask people for help, so what I would do is I would say to my friends, again, the studio and the canteen are quite far away from each other, and when I wanted to go get a coffee, I would say to my friends, hey guys, do you want to go get a coffee? Like, do you want to come with me? I'll grab coffee. And so I would always, like, and usually they'd say yes. So we go downstairs and we grab coffee, and then just at the last minute, I'd be like, oh dude, do you mind grabbing that for me? Just like as if it was a complete accident, as if it's like, oh sorry, yeah, like, sorry, just could you mind grabbing it for me? Like, just a really kind of happy coincidence. Because I'd always feel bad about like actually asking people, and then I always say like, oh, I'll grab the coffee, you know, you're carrying it, whatever. Which, it wasn't right. I shouldn't have to pay for coffees, other people's coffees, in order for them to help me do something that I can't do. Just help me out. They're my friends at the end of the day. But one day I remember we were all sort of like making fun of each other. We were joking and we were like kind of writing silly statuses on each other's Facebooks. And I wrote a silly status like on one of the guys' Facebooks. After he found out that we did that, he was like, "Well, you can carry your own fucking coffee from now on." I felt so horrible in that moment, like as if he was using my disability against me almost, as if it was like, well, you know, you relied on me to help you, now you can fucking go help yourself. Like, it made me feel less than everyone else, because he didn't say that to anyone else, and he couldn't say that to anyone else if he tried, because they weren't asking for a favour. And I felt really stupid in that, like, I kind of tried to cover it up and say, hey, do you mind carrying this? And then now he was using that against me, like using it as a bargaining chip. Well, you done something bad to me, then I'm going to do something bad to you, and you can carry your own fucking coffee from now on. I still feel horrible about that moment, and that is part of the reason why I used to hate asking for help, and why now I still get very embarrassed about asking for help. But it is okay to ask for help. That was an instant, a one-off, and it took me a long time to kind of come to terms with the fact that it is okay to ask for help, and not everyone's like that, and that, you know, it doesn't make you any less if you just ask, you know, hey, do you mind carrying this for me over to my seat, to the barista or whoever. But I can understand why some of you might still be in that position where you don't like asking for help, because it makes you feel less than other people, like makes you feel like you're relying on other people. And, you know, as much as the next person, I want to be a strong, independent dude who doesn't let his disability get in the way, and I want to carry my own coffee. And if you guys are still in that situation, then I did want to give you guys a little bit of help. So, apart from the mindset and asking for help, sometimes if you don't feel comfortable asking for help, then I want to give you guys a couple of practical tips on carrying your own coffees or hot drinks or whatever it might be on crutches or one leg, if you really, really just want to be self-reliant and suck it to the man. So, here it is. Didn't spill a drop. FYI, I don't usually just have like a glass of Lucozade during the day. I just thought it would be easier for you guys to see in the cup, like it's orange. So what I want to talk about is carrying cups of tea and coffee, because that's, again, it's something that a lot of people don't think about. First thing, obviously, I did make a video about this, I'll link it below, about like making decisions on what will be actually the easiest for you to carry. So for example, just to shorten it, a cappuccino is a lot easier to carry than an Americano, because it's got the foam, so it sort of like pads it like insulates it from swishing. So the Americano's high sloshability. But I want to talk about carrying cups of tea and coffee, because I think it's like an everyday thing that people who come on crutches, and me being on crutches, you need to think about, as opposed to sort of just taking it for granted that you can carry from A to B. So, there are two ways you can do this. The first way is actually by hopping what you just saw and literally just carrying it as you go. And I'll get into the kind of dynamics and tips of how to carry and hop with a glass of drink and not spill it. The second option is actually just get a flask. A lot of people say to me, I made a video about this a couple of months ago where I kind of showed myself spilling drinks and everyone was like, you know, grab a flask. So obviously a flask is easy. It's tighten it up, chuck it in your pocket or in your bag, and you're good to go. Anyway, a tip I would say with carrying a drink on crutches, there are three aspects to this, and you can break it down. The first being where you carry it. You don't want to be kind of carrying it very close to your body. You want to be carrying it a little bit further away, just to give this arm bit here a bit of a sort of like gimbal effect. And you want to be trying to do that motion as much as possible when you're actually hopping. So it sort of, you kind of cancel it out a bit. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know, maybe. You'll get the hang of it as you go. Just practice makes perfect, basically. The last thing, actually this is the most interesting one, there's a bit of science behind it, is actually the frequency at which you hop. I've heard, I don't know if this is true, I think it is, I live by it, that it's every 8 hops that the drink gathers up enough, so at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is when it will spill. Because that's when it gathers up enough inertia and sloshing to actually spill. So if you hop very regularly, 1, 2, like hop, hop, 1, 2, 3, it will build up that inertia. Around the 8th one, it's probably gonna spill. So, 2 ways we can combat this. The first way is you stop every 6 or 7 hops. Just a little brief, so like, you imagine you're walking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop for a second and then carry on, just to break the rhythm. The second one, which is actually what I do more often than having to stop every now and again, is actually hop at an inconsistent tempo. So rather than going 1, 2, 3, 4 hopping, you'll sort of hop like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you just break that up. I just spilled some. And you just break that up and you break the rhythm so it doesn't gather enough inertia and enough rhythm to actually spill. It's something that you'll get used to. Just grab a drink, start carrying it. But with hot drinks, I know it can be a little bit scary because when you actually spill it, you're burning yourself. So you could start off with a flask. See how it goes. I hope that helps, actually. It's something that I don't really share too much, but I hope it helps. Also, don't be afraid of hopping fast. I think actually sometimes the slower you take it, the more difficult it is, because I don't know why. I think it just is. Closing the vlog for the first time in like a week and a half with training again. Welcome back.